It's money laundering. It's criminality. It's blackmail. Donald Trump is fucking the economy up, but he's not wrong.
All right, everybody. I'm getting sweatier by the episode. Here we are. Another rant from Tim Dillon here. We're going to jump right into this. He is discussing the Trump tariffs in his most recent podcast. He's going to hit it from sort of a different angle as usual in his typical style. And again, I appreciate it. I think he makes a lot of interesting points about the U.S. economy, what it's become, and sort of what the point of all these things are, while sort of hedging his bets at the same time with what he says. Let's go ahead and watch. We'll maybe have some comments here and there, but here we go. Tim Dillon, everybody.
So what we're saying here, and I'm doing this, by the way, in front of Congress. I'm workshopping this here, but I'm doing this in front of a joint sesh. I'm doing it in front of a joint session of Congress. I actually am. Have I explained to you what's going on? I hope I have, and we're trying to go back to the good old days, or what we thought was the good old days, and maybe they were never the good old days, but they were better days for working class Americans than they are now, and it's hard. Our economy is run by intelligence agencies and international criminals. Do you understand that there is no such thing as an economy? Stop it. It's fake. It's fake. So they can arrange it, make it do whatever it wants. You go, what's that apartment? $200 million. No, it's not. It's fake. It's all fake. It's money laundering. It's criminality. It's blackmail. It's the intelligence agencies and a lot of their friends high up in finance and tech arranging the world in ways that allow them to win. They're trying to eliminate human beings. It's just what it is. These tariffs might be a mess. These tariffs are probably economically bad, short-term, potentially long-term.
Short-term, potentially long-term, meaning we could potentially be fucked on every which front here.
But when we talk about the economy, understand what we're talking about. We're talking about an international system where criminals thrive at the expense of human beings, a class of biological entity they'd like to eliminate as soon as possible. I don't even want to get into how much the intelligence community controls the economy. That's a whole nother episode. I know more about it than I should.
And let me just say, for some of my viewers who maybe are not familiar with Tim Dillon or like his style of hyperbole or sometimes tongue-in-cheek, exaggeration or satire, you have to really thread the needle through, what he's doing. Part of his angle is that he's like, a Rush Limbaugh satirist or an Alex Jones satirist, sort of a combination of, bombastic, outrageous, somewhat conspiracy peddled, etc. But with an air of like sarcasm and, comedy overlaying the whole thing. That being said, beneath the surface of a lot of what he's saying is true. The high level corruption, the money laundering and drug smuggling and, these white collar criminals that are, crashing the economy every 10 to 20 years and reaping the benefits on the other side, bribing the politicians, et cetera, that are, sequestering immense amounts of power and creating this propped up fake economy. Yes, part of that is the stock market that is, that is trading on average at like 15 to 25 times earnings. So it's inflated 15 times whatever the actual real earnings are. Hedge funds are leveraged, 5, 10x on margin. They're trading with money that doesn't even exist, et cetera, et cetera. So, BlackRock's buying up all of the, everything, basically owning all the apartments, Zillow owning, all the property and apartments, and, basically just turning everyone into renters and all that thing, crushing the middle, the whole gambit of that is under the surface of it all. And, then you get into sort of the policy of what Trump is trying to do. And, the rhetoric makes sense still in a lot of strange way. It's just the execution is always the part that matters. And that's where we're at. So I just wanted to give some context here. Let's go ahead and continue the rant.
Economy. That's a whole nother episode. I know more about it than I should. I've spoke to some very smart people about it. Okay? They're everywhere. And I'm not saying that in a paranoid way, but what I'm saying is like, yes, it is an international, interdependent system. Yes, our cars are made with parts that come from Canada. Yes, iPhones are made with parts that come from 100 plus countries. Yes, it is an interconnected, globalized world, but don't forget who's benefiting the most from that. We have a limited social safety net in this country. We don't have health care. We don't have retirement. We don't have a lot of these things. We don't guarantee a lot of standard of living for people. We have 401k plans, and some of them got beat up, and that does suck, 1,000%. But we've thrown the American working class, as a lot of people have said, we've threw them out in the cold, and these tariffs are a way to try to wrestle that back. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know what happens if you open the chocolate factory again. I do know that in the chocolate factory now, you have luxury condos that people are living in. They live in the chocolate factory. 5 blocks away from the chocolate factory, there are people ODing on the street. But they clear those bodies up so you don't have to step over them as you get into the chocolate factory. The chocolate factory, for example, has dark wood. The color palette of the chocolate factory condo, ironically enough, is kind of chocolate. They have milk chocolate wood or dark chocolate. Which color palette do you want? You've made your money in finance. That's a $21 million industrial loft in the chocolate factory. And it's owned by the daughter of a Chinese amusement park tycoon who's rarely seen.
Right.
She goes there with a few of her art school friends to do coke. I'm describing the world. Pay attention. I don't have time.
I mean, it's right. It's like, look, we've sold this. This country is being bought and sold for pieces. You know, when there, there are, you know, Chinese millionaires, billionaires, not to single out Chinese, you know, name a country, India, you know, France, Germany, whatever. You know, this country is just being bought and sold to the highest bidder. The $5 million Trump gold card is just an extension of that policy. That's why it's so confused and ridiculous, the policies and the propositions of this lunatic president, that none of it makes, you know, out of one side of his mind, oh, we got to bring back, you know, the American manufacturing and the, you know, the American worker. Then you have Howard Lutnick, his commerce secretary, going, well, you know, we're going to bring the factories back, but we're going to fill them with robots anyway. And then they get challenged on it, and they're like, oh, well, you know, the people that are going to build the factory, those are the jobs. Okay, well, then those last 2-3 years while they're building the factory, and then what? They go away. So it's like all these people are just selling this country, continuing to sell this country bit by bit, piece by piece to the highest bidder. And the people who actually live here, the inhabitants, are just completely getting squeezed and forgotten about and left in the streets and you know, left to die, literally, in literal sense, left to die in the streets. So that's what we're talking about.
You understand me? I have to go to Vegas. I'm trying to play Baccarat. My godson's coming to the hotel I'm staying at. I could give him money. I just paid for his school. I thought he was Chinese, and they go, oh, he's Filipino. It's like, what are we doing? Why is he in a Montessori? He's Filipino. He goes right to work. It sounds racist, but it's not. Actually, not. And they're going to kill Luigi, whatever his name is, Penne alla Vodka. They're going to kill Mangione. And they're going to kill Luigi Mangione, not only because he's hot, but because he shot this guy and he had a lot of popular support because people are like, I'm sick of watching my family die because they're broke. I'm sick of watching people die that don't live in the chocolate factory condo for $20 million, that don't have concierge doctors, that don't have medicine. I'm sick of that. And maybe Mangione is not the perfect mascot for this. Maybe Mangione was just a hot guy who couldn't fuck, who got mad and shot a guy. I don't really know. Maybe that's what it's shaping up to be. Is he the hero you want? No. No one's the hero you think they are. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're trying to turn back the clock with these tariffs, but what I'm trying to tell you is it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very hard. The world isn't the world by accident. Nothing developed the way it did out of happenstance. It has been a takeover for a very long time. People have been sold the idea that freedom is the ultimate thing in life. Most people want communities, families, and security, but we've supplanted. We go freedom. You can have all the jobs or none of the jobs. You can do whatever you want and live wherever you want. You can invest in anything you want. Isn't it great? You can deliver food and you can Uber and have an OnlyFans and a blog and a podcast. You can do it all. You're a media entity. You are who you've been waiting for. You don't need anybody else. You can go to school online or offline or a brick and mortar, whatever you like. It doesn't matter. You can team up with a bunch of people and start a YouTube channel where you review architecture from old houses that are now abandoned and the crackheads live in because we shipped the chocolate factory away. You have all the freedom in the world, but none of the security, none of the benefits. We've given you all the freedom, all the pretend freedom that you wouldn't know what to do with, and it's not designed for you to actually use. Donald Trump,
right?
Here's the thing, and I'll get in trouble for saying this. I don't know if this will work, but he's not wrong. I don't know if it'll work, but he's not wrong. I passed a chocolate factory the other day, and it is silly to think about that kind of America coming back. It's why we started with the Newsies and the this and the that. And it is funny and it is silly. The idea of people having a job and security. It is silly to think about. It is funny. It is strange. But we've given you freedom and we've taken everything else away. We're a scam-based economy. Do I love the Trump crypto shit? Absolutely not. Do I love some of his new tech friends? We know how I feel. I'm not going to be the ad nauseum guy that annoys everybody with it. But I'm telling you right now, we're selling you freedom, but we're not really selling you freedom. The word we're selling you is chaos. You're mistaking freedom for chaos. You think that you are free to do anything you want, but you're free to gamble. You're free to hedge your bets. You're free. Chaos, disorder, confusion. That's what we mean by freedom, a manic attempt to survive. Your spiritual life, your emotional well-being, your mental health, your sexual health, all of these things are suffering because you're scrambling to survive and put money in your bank account. But we've convinced you that that's an actual great state of being. That insanity, that mania is great. We've sold it to you as Americana.
The American dream.
We've sold that to you. Now, that is a part of America. A lot of people, myself included, I have an addict brain. I got into comedy. It's worked, but for years it didn't. I started making money at 35. I'm now 40. I've had 5 years of earning money. I had a 10-year career before that where I didn't earn any money. Didn't earn a lot of money. It was me and Stavros performing at Joe List's thing, and we loved it. And by the way, it was the most fun in the world. So I don't regret any of it. It was actually a lot of fun. There are people that are going to just want to take risks and do crazy things, and, you know, whether they pan out or not. I was very lucky. I was lucky. I was able to do it. I didn't have to, I had a good enough health to do it. I mean, I'm not a triathlete, but I had good enough health to do stand-up. What I'm saying is that this idea that the stock market runs our lives, that chaos is freedom, and that you have to be in a manic state of reinventing yourself, this entrepreneurship horseshit that has been sold to you as if a business is better than a family, as if an empire is better than truly knowing who you are as a human being. It's essential to sell that to you so that Larry Fink and BlackRock can steal everything. And that's why they pump all these gurus that tell you how to make money and steal and all this bullshit. And I'm not against money, and I love money, and no one who says they don't love money is true. but understand where it comes from. Donald Trump is fucking the economy up, but he's not wrong. Those two things are both true. I'm sorry for you to hear that. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. He's fucking it up right now, but he's not wrong. If you were to look at what's happened to the country, if you were to look at the economic and cultural malaise that the working class has felt, something has to be done. Is it realistic to get them all back into factories? I don't know. I don't plan to be, I'm not claiming to be an expert here. But what I'm telling you is, at the end of the day, if Larry Fink and BlackRock are telling you something is good for you, you know the company that bought all the houses? It's probably not. If they're selling you freedom, but they're giving you instability, they're giving you chaos, they're telling you that the gig economy is great, Larry Fink comes out and says, you should invest more money. Don't save it. Invest it. Gamble. Give it to me. Give it to us. And he came out and he said that. If he's out there telling you that you're being too cautious or responsible with your money, you know there's a reason for it.
Just another epic, absolutely epic Tim Dillon rant, as usual. Pretty spot on, just sort of speaking the truth on a number of things as we could see it. Obviously, I don't agree with every single solitary point, but nonetheless, I appreciate the humor. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what your thoughts are. Redundant. Drop a comment, also redundant, and subscribe. Like the video. See you in the next one.